Okay, Monday, September 26, 2016. Look over some indexes here. There's a Wilshire. This is the next two charts will be 2-hour charts. What I'm looking for here is how it's dealing with the breakout, or dealing in this case with resistance. This morning, S&Ps are down 13. Okay, so right now I treat the support level as the cloud, but I'm going to treat this as a failure of making a new high on a breakout. So Wilshire total market here. I'm treating this as basically distribution. This is the FOMC. This is everybody getting caught on Thursday, and here's Friday late day rollover. But for right now, we'll use the cloud as support. Okay, two supports here at 22,400 and 22,300. Okay, that's a Wilshire. There's the S&P. Basically the same thing. Failed to make a new high on the breakout here. Rolling over 21.55 and 21.40 for the cash S&P for support for right now for this morning. Let's take 13 off of it. 63 is 50. Okay, so we're into the cloud right now. Another 10 more, so 23 or so, 24 down on the S&P for the next support level. Just eyeballing it. Nothing Fibonacci or what have you. Pivot points. Okay, NDX. Okay, the Nasdaq, we did have the breakout here on Wednesday. Thursday, we gapped higher, basically stuck everybody in there. Rolled over on Friday and a continuation on Monday. I'm trading this in 20-point ranges with the futures and the cash. 48.20 futures are at now. The next level would be 4,800. Here's 4,800 on the Nasdaq 100. Support would have been here on a retest, failed to hold it. So now you're looking at one more level, 4750-ish area. And if that doesn't hold, look for a precipitous drop. To S&P 600s here, basically the same thing. Now what we're doing, since the bias in my eyes for the coming months is down, more correction and consolidation. Here you have a double top, and you're looking for something to buy. Small caps, new IPOs, things of that nature. If we do get a swoon of at least 15%, the indexes are different than the individual shares. Some of the individual shares are down severely off the high. We're talking 60%. And I pointed out over the weekend that in some indexes peaked out in May of 2015. Some individual issues like IBM peaked out in 2013. So there is a rotation, but the corrections are deeper than 20%. Okay, so the small and mid, you're basically on a swoon. You'd buy IPOs, the Russells, and mid caps and things of this nature here, and avoid the smokestacks, New York Stock Exchange type things. I did notice insurance companies and business services looked a little rolling over-ish. Here's the mids. Failed to make a new high on here. A lot of these just feel like they're going to continue lower here. And here's the Russell. Poked its head through, came back in, and here it looks, what's that, 25 lower into the cloud here. What is that? 1230, 1210 down here for S2 on this 2-hour chart. Toronto Stock Exchange. Basically, I'm taking this as like a last hurrah bounce for the metals and that. And oil, just think it's a consolidator correction. Okay. Yes, a correction, metals and oil are a correction in a secular bear market. Okay, so this is a pretty good rise off the low at the beginning of the year here of 2016. A really good rise, but it's weaker. It's expected to trade below 2011 lows at 11.5 on this Toronto Stock Exchange, and expect a lot of these will be cut in half. These indexes, I believe. The Netherlands, basically, I'm going to say sideways to down here for right now. You do have a larger series of lower highs. Sydney, Australia, roll over the same thing. Currency's down some this morning. Not seeing any follow through on the weekly bear flag, or excuse me, bull flag. Belgium, basically the same thing. They all kind of got up to levels, like in this case, you could treat this as bullish and continuation. I'm using a lot of these as just basically a last hurrah. Okay, the Brazilian here. Basically, it's into the cloud. I think it's going to roll over. They've had a really good run with their inflation. Currency comes down, the emerging markets will unwind. Currency comes down, the indexes will come down. France, basically the same thing, series of lower highs, sideways to down. German DAX here, it's trying. It's trying to hold a breakout here. But we're multi-years, it's having difficulty. I would say about 9,500 would be a support level on here. And you can have it come back to 6,500. So like I said, you know, some of these, they're going to lose half. These are monthly charts. And so we're talking, you know, it's not as much as time, it's a percentage in price. World index, this just feels like it's just rolling over here. European 100, same thing. This shelf looks like it's going to give away here. 2,300 on the bottom end of the cloud here. United Kingdom, same thing. We're midway through, or we're down to the last week of the month here. So we may have some reversal bars outside, and these are monthlies. So it's a big deal. Hong Kong, 50%. I'd have to say that's the end of that story here. Hong Kong is one of those that hasn't really rolled over yet. Italy, at some point, just like with Portugal here, it's going to stop falling, and that would pique my interest. Here's Mexico, same thing with the emerging markets. Currency comes down, the equities come down also. Euronext 100, same thing, just feels like a bear flag. Here is India. These are going to be interesting bear markets. As you can see, here's 2003. Okay, so these are going to be some interesting bear markets here. You know, more than 10, 15% here. You can see the swoon here, 63 to 22. So that's 4,000, 4.6. They lost 2/3 here on this move. Okay, so same type of deal. You know, here's 4,200, basically cut in half. And a lot of it is just because of the money went in there and the money's just stopped. It's an asset class. Japan, this may be one to buy on a swoon. It's been having a tough time since 1989. So it's one of those where there's nobody in there to sell per se. Okay. This one looks like a decent one here. This looks like a good reversal here on this New Zealand. I think I talked about it 2 weeks ago. Short side of this New Zealand here. Portugal, like I said, with Italy, somehow merge the two countries together, or their markets at least. Here's Russia, same thing. It's going to be dealing with oil. There have been some severe moves here in the Russian market. So, saying from 1,000 and coming back down to say 400, that's not out of the cards here with what we have going on. This pattern actually looks like oil before it broke lower, and this is a logged chart. So this was your trend. It's less. It's trended sideways, and it's going to run in over here 1,200 or so. Run into some issues. Outside of political, economic, I can't see it happening here. They are coming out of a recession. China, just like with India, with them beat up as far as they are, I mean, even cutting them in half, okay? And we're just talking going back, here's 2013. So you have your move up, correction, one last swoon, and you'll run out of people who are bullish. And we're waiting now basically to turn everybody bearish. Singapore, same thing, just think it's a bear flag and headed lower. And that is that for those. Okay,